Kickstart summer at Lowe's with Memorial Day savings on major appliances like the Smart Whirlpool Top Load Washer, featuring the 2-in-1 removable agitator in a color you'll only find at Lowe's. Take it out for bulky items, leave it in for a more thorough clean. You can customize any load, plus skip steps with the Load and Go dispenser. Simply add detergent once and skip the refills. Memorial Day savings start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
Hey guys, Matt McAllister here. Now look, all couples argue or disagree from time to time, but when that comes your norm and you find yourself, drifting apart, it might be time to reconsider that relationship. Look, I've been there. It's not easy on anybody, but if you do need professional, compassionate help, you might want to talk with the folks at Family Law Solutions. They're the partner you need when times get really tough. They provide solutions from adoption to prenuptial agreements to divorce and child support. And you don't have to go this alone. Get started today at FamilyLawSolutionsNorthwest.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. You know the band The Who, right?
Yes.
Teenage Wasteland.
Oh, it's exactly what it sounds like.
Well,
yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
wasted.
Yeah, the CSI guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so the frontman of The Who, that's Roger Daltrey. He recently did an interview where he talked about how great of a frontman Mick Jagger is, but also took a shot at the Rolling Stones as well.
But Mick Jagger, you got to take your hat off to him. He's a number one rock and roll performer. But as a band, if you were outside a pub and you heard that music coming out of a pub some nights, you'd think, well, that's a mediocre pub band.
Dude, this is funny because what was it? Just a couple weeks ago, Paul McCartney was saying that they're just basically a pub band.
Yeah.
Was this like an ongoing thing? Like, you see it happen with like smaller level bands, like local bands where like everyone's clowning on a certain band because, people get bitter and petty. And if some band's having some success, you kind of crap on them behind their back. Yeah. And I'm always like, well, at least like we should all act more like the bigger bands where, they don't worry about that kind of crap. But maybe they were worrying about that kind of crap and talking stuff about The Who all these years and we just never knew it.
You may be right, Steve, because the one thing the Stones have been able to do is they've been able to go on tour, for the last, 20 years, 25 years. Yeah. They go on tour every few years, make a lot of money because everybody wants to go see it, these gigantic tours. And maybe the Who don't have that, for whatever reason. I mean, maybe the Who could have that if they would do the same kind of thing. And obviously the Beatles aren't together anymore.
Right.
But you're right. Maybe when both bands were doing what they were doing, they just looked at the music thinking it was basic, and I don't know music enough, but I know comics do this. Like when there's a comic out there like a Dane Cook or even an Andrew Dice Clay, there were people that were very bitter. Like, Are you kidding me? How are they having this success? They're just basic with their comedy. And you would hear a lot of people when it's like, well, you know what? Apparently they figured something out because they're getting paid a lot of money and a lot of people are enjoying what they're doing.
If it connects with somebody and it's striking a nerve, they somehow have figured it out and you haven't. That's why I always kind of have to say some people, because it's like that in any art, music, whatever. I mean, it could happen with actual like painters. I'm sure like, how is this guy successful? And all he's doing is painting a tree. I'm sure there's a lot of like really talented artists that hated Bob Ross. When you think about it.
Yeah. And it's all about stage presentation. I mean, they all had something that really, like a combination of stuff that clicked. And like you said, Bob Ross and Dice and Dane Cook
Carrot
and
Top.
the Stones. Carrot Top, not in the same echelon, but I mean.
You know what? When you like to get a paycheck that Carrot Top is getting from being a hack comic?
Well, yeah, he's doing well. You're right. It's just, I don't know if Carrot Top ever got to Dice Clay level, or Cook level, but
Probably
you're right.
Not, but he's doing all right in Vegas, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of people that really were like, you got to be kidding me. Carrot Top brings out a jar of crap, a chest of crap. Okay, this is how comedy's done. It's like, well, for him it is. I mean, you could argue the same thing with Penn and Teller, but they, that they're just magicians and juggling. But those guys went out and have made an incredible career of being really, really funny, great stage presence, and turning magic and juggling on its ear.
I just get a kick out of it, though, because it's funny to think that maybe back in the day, the Who were the band, not the Who, I'm sorry, the Rolling Stones were the band that all the other bands were like kind of bitter towards because they're like, why are they successful? That band, you know what I mean? It's kind of funny to think that because at the end of the day, they're laughing all the way to the bank and they probably don't care. But what if all these years, all these other big name bands were just as petty as the local bands in whatever town you're in, bitching about some band that's getting some kind of success?
Well, with that said, Daltrey does have some things he said about Led Zeppelin as well.
Uh-oh.
And so let's hear what he said about Zepp.
Of all the singers in all the bands, no solos. I mean, Who songs are all lyrics. I mean, I put Robert Plant, he's a very good friend of mine, and we do joke about it. He said he could go off and read a book when Page started up on a guitar solo or Bonham started on a drum solo. And I suddenly thought, I wonder what it would been like to have been in a band like that.
So is this they had long guitar? Was it an issue, or is he just say he wishes he had a band that had long guitar?
Yeah, it's a hard thing to say whether or not, because obviously, when that happens, somebody else besides the front man's getting all the attention. I mean, even,
but he could go get the groupies and just be like, yo, Jimmy, keep rocking.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. With some of those Zeppelin guitars, he could have actually, he could have multitasked, could have saved himself some time.
Dude, that was the story. That was the joke. Not even the joke. That was the reality of the '80s hair metal bands. A lot of times, like whenever that band member was doing an extended guitar solo or a drum solo or bass solo, if you let your bassist do that, it was some of the other bandmates were just getting some action underneath the stage.
Wow,
I think Def Leppard was known for that.
Wow,
yeah.
That's some quick action. I mean,
Well, that's a very long guitar solo.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow. I mean, boy, you've got to be jacked up, as it were. You know what I mean?
They were unstoppable in the 80s. Those bands.
You had to be super. Because I don't know what it's like to be jacked up on a substance because, I could be in a mood to get some stuff done, but then I know how I feel when I'm done getting stuff done, and I don't want to do anything but just lie down and have some food.
They'd be like, sorry, Def Leppard fans, Joe Elliott needs a nap.
Yeah,
He's not going to be able to do the rest of the set.
But I suppose if I had the blow in my system before I went and got, another.
But is that fine line? Because I've heard stories of people saying that once you do a certain drug like that, it's kind of like the whiskey D thing, where it's like you just can't.
So how's he staying up in more ways than one, in those circumstances?
Probably a multitude of drugs.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Or probably just a cocktail.
Or it's just the adrenaline. Maybe he's sober, and it's just that the adrenaline of being a rock star, where you're like, while our guitarist is doing his guitar solo, I'm going to get taken care of down here.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing living right there, buddy. Wow, damn.
Who weren't really like a band that did like super long guitar solos. I mean, Pete Townsend did some cool stuff on the guitar, but he wasn't known for like these extended jams.
Yeah, not that I remember. Surely nowhere near what Zeppelin did. Yeah, damn. Well, there you go. So Roger Daltrey. And at his ripe old age of, I think he's in his 70s now. It's just like, again, zero F's given. I'll say what I want to say. I'm sure they, like you said, they felt this way, but never would ever say anything to the media. Mm-hmm. But, when you get to that age, we talked about it last week. There's a certain age you get to where it's zero F's given. I'll say what I want. Do what I want.
Yeah, I felt like I was just sitting at a bar with the guy and just listening to him vent about all these other. And let me tell you another thing about Jimmy Page. That seemed like it would be a fun person to be around, is Roger Daltrey. If he's like, it wasn't like anything he said was awful.
Yeah, it was jovial too. It wasn't like he was angry. He was kind of laughing about it. Like, you'd think they were a pub band over there. And it's like, oh man.
I wonder how like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards feel about that. Like if they even care. You know what I mean? Or if it's like something that's always bothered them. Like, man, our contemporaries and these other big bands don't view us on the same level.
I never thought of it, but they're kind of like the British Nickelback.
Somebody even texted in saying, "So you're the Stones with the original Nickelback."
Yeah,
wow.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
That hurts my brain, but I mean, like just getting hated on by everybody. But it's just monumentally just popular.
Yeah, they're selling out stadiums. I mean, they get the last laugh, and they're still doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. The Stones are a great band, but yeah, nobody ever says, take a look at how, like, amazing their music was, like other bands. They're good, no, they're not revered like the Beatles, and I mean, surely Led Zeppelin is considered, Jimmy Page, all of that, that's considered amazing music too. The Stones are considered a great band, but yeah, no one's ever pointed to them like, but their music is just like, groundbreaking. No one's ever really done that.
And I know this will probably annoy some people, but whatever. That's what we do here. We annoy people from time to time.
All right, here we go.
If you said you can only listen to one band, the Stones or the Beatles, I'm going with the Stones.
Oh, you know what? What do you want to listen just to a pub band? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't dislike the Beatles. The Beatles have never been my favorite band, but I think I would, if I was like going on a drive and you're like, hey, I got to listen to something, and these are the only two CDs I've got is a Beatles CD or a Rolling Stones. I'm probably going to go with the Rolling Stones because it's a little bit more upbeat, and it's just more that's more my vibe.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that the Beatles, became also, in a way, what the Seattle sound was. They became a voice of a generation because that late 60s, 70s, transcendental meditation, free love stuff, the Beatles really were in it. They were all over that.
Yeah, if I'm doing mushrooms, then I'm probably going to go with the Beatles.
Yeah, them, Pink Floyd, obviously, those kind of bands, the Moody Blues. I mean, they really were all, it was like the psychedelics and mind-altering and mind-expanding. I mean, those bands were in it. And, yeah, the Stones were never really thought of in that. They just weren't that.
All right, if we're putting them all up against each other. So you got like the Stones, you got Zeppelin, you got Who. The Who.
Wow.
Who? Just good. And the Beatles. Which one? Only one can stay. Which one are you keeping?
Oh, man. Wow. You know what? I really like a lot of Who songs. I have to say, I like the Who.
Yeah, I think it's a bad pick.
Yeah, I like the Who.
I'm torn between the Who and Zeppelin, but I think I'm sticking with Zeppelin.
All right, I hate agreeing with BJ, but I'm going with the Who.
I've heard too much Zeppelin in my radio career. That's the problem.
Sure.
It's just, even to this day, I'm on a station that plays Zeppelin. And I've been on stations that have played Led Zeppelin pretty much 75% of my career, and that's the only reason is that I'm just so oversaturated with Zeppelin where I don't hear the Who songs as much.
All right, Vicky.
And I'm in that same position, but I'm going to go with the Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones, that mediocre pub band,
right? I think it's just because I have mediocre taste, and I'm proud of it.
Well, she is a mediocre pub girl. It makes sense.
Danny's not with us because he's at home visiting his daughter. He'll be back, I think, Wednesday. But so Joe's in here with us. Joe.
Oh, it's interesting to see what Joe says.
I'm curious what Joe's down with.
I'm with you, Steve. I don't know. It's between the Who or Zeppelin for me, and I'm only going to go the Who because I've listened to them less, and I feel like I would be able to repeat more of their songs.
Like your dad's mentality.
Exactly.
You don't want the kid's a smart kid. Like
apple from the tree or whatever it is.
Yeah. That's or whatever it is. Yeah, whatever that.
that thing.
That famous saying is, and it's so hard to remember.
The apple and the chip on the block of the tree?
That's what it is?
Yes, you got it.
Woo! Yep. Boom. There we go.
Boom.
All right, so I have a question. What do you think people say is the most rewarding good deed? Give you some time to think about it, and I'll tell you what it is at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Make your kitchen ready for every summer gathering this Memorial Day with LG and Lowe's. Our exclusive InstaView appliance suite includes ranges with air fry, refrigerators with slow melting craft ice, and an exclusive dishwasher you can only find at Lowe's. Plus, you'll get up to 10% back via a MasterCard prepaid card when you bundle eligible LG products via rebate. Shop Memorial Day savings at Lowe's. Offer valid 3/3 through 5/18 on select LG items only. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details and timing.
Everything is better electrified. Like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has the widest range of electrified vehicles on the market, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
Grandma, we miss missed you.
Come here, kids. It's so good to see you again. Grandma and I have to catch up. Why don't you play in the other room for a bit?
Okay.
It's good to see you again, Mom. We all missed you.
I'm sorry it took so long. I lost a lot to my gambling problems, but I'm happy to have my life back with you.
We are too, Mom.
If gambling is creating a problem for you, call the Washington State Helpline at 1-800-547-6133 or visit evergreencpg.org.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Someone asked people to define what it means to do a good deed. And the top answer was anything that pretty much makes someone else feel good. Okay.
Well, I mean, that could be taken in the wrong way also. Certain things feel good that probably aren't necessarily a good deed.
It's all up to the recipient, Steve.
Yeah.
Really, they're the ones.
Explain that one to your husband or wife. Hey, I was just providing a good deed.
That's all I was doing.
I didn't say who with.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry.
Doing my work.
I held the door open. Next thing you know.
Yeah. Things get held open. Yeah. So we've got the top little things that you can do for others that can instantly turn your day around. But anything that makes anybody feel good. Yeah, that's what it means to do a good deed. All right, now we have that definition.
Ooh, I'm trying to think of what would be a good one.
Courtesy flush.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm doing good deeds all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not on the list, but I guess we know pretty much, what your life is. I think, you know what? Sometimes statements define the man.
Yeah, a very nice person.
It's very on brand for the Rev.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's really.
But he's right, man. I feel like that's just that you should just do that. The minute, you're doing whatever you're doing in a public bathroom, you should be hitting that flush button.
But you're going against the carbon neutral people because I would get yelled at for flushing. It's like, don't flush. So
True.
Basically they want us to all go number one, and I don't know how much number one we all have to combine in order then it's flush time. But I mean, I just know there's
But number one has
splashback.
nothing. That's not the courtesy flush.
No, but that's what I mean is that I know that some people don't want you to flush at all because it's wasting water. So I think maybe if they're worried about you flushing after going number one, maybe they also don't want you to flush as a courtesy flush because that's more than one flush than you need to flush.
Well, then they need to come into the bathroom and tell me that's in my face.
Yeah, how dare you?
I have a feeling that they're going to be willing to set aside their
See, you can't win
convictions.
You just can't win. I have been yelled at.
One of life's greatest dilemmas, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was going number one, done, flushed, and got yelled at, and I was like, from a random stranger, I'm like, what? So imagine if I courtesy flushed, that would have been 2 flushes. The guy probably would have beat me up.
Well, you'd have to get through the stall, and that'd be awkward.
Yeah, right?
Oh, hey, listen, man. You know what? This guy waited till I came out, then gave me grief.
Who's giving anyone grief in a public bathroom?
I'm with you, dude.
I mean,
I was
honestly,
on vacation.
I mean, short of you murdering someone in there, I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm just getting in my business and getting out.
That's why I was looking at this guy like, is this really happening? I guess this is happening. Yeah. I was like, all right, thanks.
Everyone's got their thing. And that
thanks,
must be that
Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really appreciate that. All right. How about you, Vicky? What's a good deed that you think, okay, this is something you think is a good little thing to do for somebody?
Like offering to take a task off their hands. Like, they don't want to ask because they don't want to be a burden, but just like, hey, you know what? I'll pick up the groceries for you, or I'll do this. Just doing something for a friend that they don't want to ask for.
That's actually on the list.
Really?
How funny. I was just thinking of good deeds to strangers. I never thought about doing a good deed to someone actually you know and care about. But I don't know why. That was just what popped into my head.
Honestly. All right. You just, honey, what do you mean be nice to you? I got to save it up for the people I don't know.
I'm thinking about holding a door open for somebody.
That's on the list too. That's on the list. Yeah. Especially a stranger, they say, Steve. So you get even more of a good deed for holding a door for a stranger as opposed to holding it for somebody you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
I'll open the car door for my wife, and I mean, she seems to appreciate that, so that's nice.
Oh, look at you! You hold the door for you, open the door for your wife.
Unless it's raining, and then I'm hurrying to get in the car. I mean,
hey, you're on your own, lady.
She's got an umbrella, and I don't.
Well, she has to understand this. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. Yeah. Okay, so that's a cool thing. So helping a friend, family member, coworker with a task, holding the door open for somebody, especially a stranger. No courtesy flush on that. Joey, yes, go ahead.
I know it's probably not on the list, but I always appreciate when, like, if I'm the person or someone else, if they see that, like, if I only have like one item and I'm behind someone that has like 20 or 30 things in their shopping cart, it's always really cool when they're like, hey, just go ahead of me. And I always do that as well.
Oh, letting you cut in line, which other people hate.
Yeah, but this is a situation where it's like, I've got 40 things in my shopping cart. You've got a bottle of soda. Jump ahead of me. It's not a big deal.
Okay, so what if there was somebody behind you and then behind them that was the bottle of soda guy?
I'm not effing with that. Like, you got to be directly behind me.
Okay, all right. So at least then there's no cutting in line at that point.
Right.
Okay.
Right. This is just a swap, BJ.
All right. I can deal with the swap because it takes the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I have been giving grief over that too because I let somebody go ahead of me.
Who are you hanging out with?
Gosh, yeah.
Dude, it's who am I hanging out with? These are strangers that I don't hang out with any of these people.
It's all these privileged Mercer Island people, man.
Well, you know what, dude? There may be something to be said about that. I can't argue because it's like, you know what? With what you're buying, I feel like you have enough money to pay someone to be upset. Why are you being upset? All right, I want to know what Joey Dees thinks is a good little deed.
I'm going to say buying someone's coffee behind you.
Oh, the whole pay it forward
thing. Yeah, that's on the list too. And it's not just anything; it's literally a coffee. You've got to buy somebody a coffee.
Yeah, I'm not
so he hit it on the head.
You're not doing it? I always, it's so awkward because I'm like, it's so nice when someone does it for you. Then I'm like, I don't even know how many things they're ordering behind me. Do I just buy one of the things in the list of things that they're getting?
Oh, yeah.
They have no idea that I got my thing for free. So why do I need to keep this going?
And what if you're just like buying like yourself like a drip coffee and the person behind you is suddenly getting one of those frou-frou $17 drinks?
Right,
like,
you guys are missing the point here. So you're saying there's a cost to your kindness?
Hell yeah.
Okay, good.
Are you going to go to the Met and be like, you know what? I'll cover your steak.
Okay. Well, look, I mean, but you'll gladly go to the Met and hold the door for free. That you'll do.
Oh yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, at least I know where you guys are, and we know that if Rev is in the bathroom at the Met, he'll courtesy flush.
100%.
All right. We know what's happening here. We know what it's all about. Yeah, that's on the list. Buying someone coffee. And I guess then asking for you guys to pay for someone's meal is way off the table, right? It's not going to happen.
Oh, for friends? I do that all the time. We'll go back and forth. I got this.
Do you pay before or after? Do you announce it before or after you assess the damage?
Oh, I definitely assess the damage.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I got a budget, man.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
It's just like, oh, hey, Jimmy, you know what? Let me get that salad for you. At least I can do for you. Okay.
Are you only getting an appetizer? I got that.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Not
Jimmy.
a problem.
Oh, you're ordering from the bottom shelf? You're doing well vodka? Sure, I'll buy you a drink. Sure thing.
Are you getting a filet mignon? Oh, man. Good luck to you.
Yeah, good luck.
Separate checks, please.
Yeah.
I see your daughter's in the room, though.
Oh, Sarah. I wonder what top little thing that she believes you can do for others that counts as a good deed.
I don't do it that often because I'm not that helpful, but J Rubs helps quite a few people at the grocery store either reach something or lift something up for them. It just happened when we were at Costco over the weekend. Some lady couldn't lift this case of beer, and J Rubs came in, his manly self, and got it for her. And I was like, "Thanks, babe."
Did he get a can of a beer out of it, like as like a little like helpers?
He should have. She should have opened that and been like, "Here you go." That would have been awesome.
Right?
Steve, do you understand what a good deed is?
Yeah.
First of all, you're assessing damage. You'll make sure it's not too pricey, and now you want a reward.
Yeah, why not?
You're completely not understanding what this topic is.
A good deed for a good deed.
Okay.
Isn't that how
pro quo in that?
No, that's, I think you're thinking eye for an eye. That's a whole other part of the.
Oh, dear. Yeah, right.
I think actually helping someone carry groceries, something else that's heavy, is on this list.
See?
Everybody's killing it but the Rev, apparently. Sorry, buddy. Nobody's courtesy flushing for the win.
I do get pretty pumped when I'm at a grocery store and someone's like, "Sir, can you help me?" And at first my instinct is like, "I don't work here." In my head, I don't want to say that. And I'm just like, "Sure." Can you just reach up and grab that? I'm like, short person, no problem. And I feel like a hero.
You're like, "I got this."
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't understand that. I don't have
No,
to.
you're the one who needs all of the help.
Yeah, there really isn't anything you can help us out with at the grocery store.
My favorite is when I'm literally climbing on the shelves and some people are just walking by. It's like, okay, if I die, it's your fault, people.
No one even offers to help?
No.
That's
I
rude.
think they just want to see if I
Stop
can
and
do
film
it.
you?
Actually,
Exactly,
yeah.
that's all I want.
There'll be some filming involved.
Oh, yeah, I'd stop him. I'd stop and film her, yeah. and then maybe I'd help her, but I'd wait till she falls first because that completes the video. I mean, otherwise the TikTok people aren't going to love it if she doesn't fall.
I like this text that says, I'll pay for someone's groceries when I realize that they don't have enough money for their stuff. Really, I'm only doing it so they could hurry the hell up and get out of my way so I could go home. I'm being nice for a selfish reason, LOL.
You know, in a way, I think I hate to say it, but I feel like the way the human brain works, that's all we're really doing. It looks like we're being nice, but we're just doing something for ourselves at the end of the day. Yeah, donating to somebody in need. I find myself at times doing that so that they'll like, oh, hey, what a great guy you are. Because again, you go, wow, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, well, I just wanted that person to like me. So I thought
you say a GoFundMe, or you're waiting for them to like, when are you going to thank me for that donation?
Oh yeah.
That's so Costanza, just making sure they see that you put the money in the tip jar. You're like, hey, I'm giving you money.
Look, I'd be a liar if I didn't say that's me. It really, my wife and I have had some conversations where she's looked at me and said, do you understand the concept of a donation? And you're basically charging them for your donation. What do you mean? They should at least acknowledge that I gave them money and say something nice. That's the whole idea of donating, is to look nice and look like a respected member of the community.
Rev, it's funny you say that, but I will make it a point to wait. If it's like a tip jar type of a thing, I will make sure that they turn around and see the tip. It's not so much like I just want to make sure that they know I did tip them. Like, I'm like, I don't want them to think I just left and left them high and dry. So I'm like, I'm going to wait until they see
fair
it.
Fair enough.
But probably deep down, I do want that thank you.
Well, that's what's tough about like going to a Starbucks, because if I use Apple Pay, they don't give you a tip option. It just charges you, and then you're sitting there like, oh damn, I want and there's that look, so it's like I always have that $1 in my hand, that $2 along with the Apple Pay.
That's why, you gotta carry some ones with you.
You got to look them in the eye, otherwise you could get attacked. It's like sometimes it's like I'm out in the wild. I go, I don't want this wild animal not to know that I'm friendly. I got it. It's right here.
Just look at them and shrug your shoulders, and be like, blame Apple.
You know
Sorry, I can't tip you. It's Apple.
That's a shock that's your response. I don't think anybody would have pegged that.
Apple Pay. I'm not like you.
Whoa.
You're not like me. What does that mean? You need to go to a special school to learn how to do Apple Pay?
I use credit cards, man.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It's so easy. You have an iPhone. It's like, it's the easiest thing in the world, and it's actually a little safer.
That's cool for you.
That's cool for me. Yeah. Easy. So ease and safety.
Eventually I'll get to that point. You know me, I ease into these things, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a creature of habit. Right. And right now, I got my wallet out. I got my card in my hand. Yeah. Now you want me to put it back away and grab my cell phone.
I just want to say to all my friends who tell me that I only use 20% of my iPhone whenever I buy one, I found someone that uses less percentage of the iPhone than I do. He's over there.
I mean, all I need it for really is just YouTube and now Twitter, and that's about it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, on Friday, Mr. YouTube Twitter, he did get this one wrong. Wow.
Which planet has the fastest winds in the solar system?
It has to be Uranus, right?
No.
Jupiter?
No.
Saturn?
No.
Really, you know what? I mean, Uranus is not that far from Neptune. It is unfortunate that they didn't name Neptune Uranus, because them having the fastest winds would be funny.
Right.
You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs. We'll do it at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Kickstart summer at Lowe's with Memorial Day savings on major appliances like the smart Whirlpool top-load washer featuring the 2-in-1 removable agitator in a color you'll only find at Lowe's. Take it out for bulky items, leave it in for a more thorough clean. You can customize any load, plus skip steps with the Load and Go dispenser. Simply add detergent once and skip the refills. Memorial Day savings start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
Hey guys, Matt McAllister here. Now look, all couples argue or disagree from time to time, but when that comes your norm and you find yourself, drifting apart, it might be time to reconsider that relationship. Look, I've been there. It's not easy on anybody, but if you do need professional, compassionate help, you might want to talk with the folks at Family Law Solutions. They're the partner you need when times get really tough. They provide solutions from adoption to prenuptial agreements to divorce and child support. And you don't have to go this alone. Get started today at FamilyLawSolutionsNorthwest.com.
I'm glad we can take this time for ourselves.
I know, me too. It's nice going on new adventures, experiencing new things, and creating new memories again. I missed you when you seemed lost in your gambling.
Well, I'm back and ready to visit new places and see new sights. Oh, and try new foods.
Yes, new foods.
If gambling is creating a problem for you, call the Washington State Helpline at 1-800-547-6133 or visit evergreencpg.org.